Hello, today is Monday, August 17th, and this is our news brief on tech and business. So, White House lets vetted private companies conduct offensive cyber operations. President Trump signed a national security presidential memorandum on August 12th, authorizing vetted U.S. companies to run offensive cyber operations against foreign criminal networks under federal government control and oversight. The program targets transnational criminal organizations running ransomware, phishing, and sextortion campaigns against Americans from abroad, building on a March 2026 executive order, according to Help Net Security. Participating companies must maintain a bond or escrow of at least 1 million, face annual reviews, and cannot approve operations that could cause loss of life or rise to the level of armed attack, the White House fact sheet said. A little bit more context, the memo creates a formal framework where companies partner with DOJ and DHS to propose surveillance and disruption operations, with two co-executive directors approving every package before action. American consumers reported losing more than 20.8 billion in cyber-enabled crime in 2025, which the White House cited as the scale of the problem the new program is meant to address. So here's a bit of implications to this. Small cybersecurity firms and specialist operations now have a legal pathway to bid on government offensive cyber work, which changes their service model and revenue options. Any business hit by foreign ransom gangs should know the federal-backed private retaliation is now policy. But it does not grant companies the right to hack back on their own. So before I continue, if you want these insights delivered straight into your inbox every week, sign up for the newsletter. Same research, same takeaways, readable in minutes. OpenAI ships GPT 5.6 Cyber for authorized defensive security work. OpenAI launched GPT 5.6 Cyber on August 11th as part of its Daybreak program, with a 95% completion rate on advanced cybersecurity tasks compared to 1.5% for the standard GPT 5.6 Soul model. Daybreak Blue gives security teams frontier models with cybersecurity guardrails removed for incident detection and malware analysis, while Daybreak Red provides the specialist GPT 5.6 Cyber for zero-day discovery and exploit chain development, developer tech.com reported. The model found two previously unknown vulnerabilities in Chrome's V8 JavaScript engine that could chain to escape the heap sandbox, and Google assigned CVE 2026-15903 after coordinated disclosure. So a bit more context, OpenAI requires identity verification, account security controls, monitoring, legal attestations, and hardware security keys for all individual Daybreak accounts starting September 1st. Accenture, Spectre Ops, and Cloudflare endorsed the model, with Spectre Ops CTO Jared Atkinson saying that it completed work in under a day that earlier models had not resolved after weeks. So here's the implication. Small security teams and managed providers gain access to AI-driven vulnerability research that previously required large budgets, which could narrow the gap between them and enterprise defenders. Business owners should ask their security vendors whether they are using AI-assisted vulnerability discovery, because the speed of finding and fixing flaws is now a competitive factor in security services. Amnesia Stealer macOS malware hijacks browser sessions with live remote control. So JAMF Threats Labs disclosed Amnesia Stealer on August 14th, a Rust-based macOS info stealer spread through fake GitHub download pages that give attackers live hidden control of victims' Chromium browser. So that means like Chrome or Brave, anything that's built on Chromium. The malware runs in three stages: a shell script downloader, a Rust info stealer that harvests keychain, Apple Notes, Telegram, and 16 Chromium family browsers, and a stream module that clones the browser profile and lets the operator drive it headless in real time. SC Media report. Well, that's not scary at all. Basically taking over most of your system and getting access to your keys. So on Mac OS 26, Amnesia Stealer overwrites a Chrome safe storage key with a hard-coded value when it cannot recover the original, which lets attackers decrypt newly stolen data but can lock users out of their own stored passwords. The click fix technique uses a counterfeit GitHub page styled with the correct dark theme and Octocat logo, asking the visitor to paste a terminal command instead of downloading a file. So don't just paste commands, download the file. The same fake GitHub template has been observed in Atomic Stealer and MaxSync campaigns, which means the Lure infrastructure is shared across multiple malware families. So here's a bit of implication to this. Small businesses with Mac using staff should warn employees never to paste terminal commands from a browser download page, because this is now the primary delivery method for Mac OS stealers. IT teams should watch for browsers deleting and rewriting safe storage entries through the security command, since JAMF notes this actively has no benign explanation and is a high-value detection signal. Apple warns users in 110 countries that they may be targets of a mercenary spyware. Apple sent a new wave of threat notifications on August 13th to users in 110 countries, warning that they may have individually targeted by mercenary spyware attacks. The Hacker News reported on August 14th. Apple now displays the warning directly on the iPhone lock screen and in settings, calling these high confidence alerts that should be taken very seriously. Malwarebytes confirmed. Mercenary spyware attacks cost millions of dollars and have a short shelf life, Apple said, making them harder to detect and prevent, and the vast majority of users will never be targeted. So a bit more context, the notifications expand Apple's existing threat notification system, which has previously alerted users in smaller batches tied to commercial surveillance vendors and their government customers. Apple recommends that notified users seek expert help, such as Digital Security Helpline, run by nonprofit Access Now, and offers guidance including stolen device protection, passkeys, and avoiding unknown risks. So here's a bit of implications to that. Small business owners and founders who travel internationally or work in sensitive sectors should treat an Apple spyware alert as a real incident, not a false positive, and act on it immediately. Operators should add Apple threat notifications to their employee security awareness flow so that any staff member who receives one known to report it and get help rather than dismiss it. So if you want clear and practical updates on the tech and business shifts that actually affect operators, founders, and small teams, subscribe and follow along on the Dave Tech Lead YouTube channel. If you want these updates straight to your inbox or email, subscribe to the Dave Tech Lead newsletter. See you next time.